Something strange has been happening around Cardi B lately, and the weirdest part is that most people didn't notice it right away. At first glance, everything still looks normal. Cardi B is still one of the most recognizable personalities in hip-hop. She still dominates social media conversations, and whenever she posts something online, the internet reacts almost instantly. But if you look closely at the way things have been unfolding around her career recently, something starts to feel a little different. And once fans started noticing that difference, the conversation around Cardi B slowly began to change. Because what's happening around her right now might actually be much bigger than people think. But before we get to the part that has people paying attention again, you need to understand how Cardi B ended up in this position in the first place. Because her rise in the music industry didn't happen the way most artists' careers usually do, and that difference might explain why the situation around her today feels so unusual. But here's the thing most people forget. Cardi B didn't originally become famous because of music, and that detail is actually where this entire story begins. Before Cardi B was topping charts and winning awards, she had already built a massive following somewhere else: the internet. Long before her songs started dominating radio stations, millions of people already knew exactly who Cardi B was. Her videos were loud, funny, unpredictable, and completely unfiltered. And that authenticity made people pay attention in a way that most influencers never managed to achieve. People shared her clips everywhere. Her personality became instantly recognizable. And slowly, Cardi B started building a level of attention that most artists spend years trying to create. But here's where the story gets interesting. Most internet personalities never manage to turn that attention into a serious music career. The internet creates fame quickly, but it usually disappears just as fast. And that's why so many people were shocked when Cardi B released Bodak Yellow. Because the song didn't just perform well, it exploded. It climbed the charts, dominated streaming platforms, and suddenly, Cardi B wasn't just an internet personality anymore. She was one of the biggest rappers in the world. And from that moment forward, everything around her career started moving extremely fast. But success that fast creates something else too: pressure. And that pressure eventually changes the entire environment around an artist. After Cardi B's debut album became a massive success, the expectations around her career reached a completely different level. She wasn't just another rapper releasing songs anymore. She had become a cultural moment. Every interview turned into viral clips. Every tweet sparked debates across social media, and every appearance created headlines. At first, that attention worked in her favor. The more people talked about Cardi B, the bigger her presence in the industry became. But here's where things start getting complicated. Because when an artist becomes that visible, the expectations never stop growing. Fans want new music constantly. The industry expects bigger hits. And the internet always wants another viral moment, another headline, another reason to talk about you. But what happens when those moments slow down? That's when the narrative around an artist starts shifting, and that's exactly what some fans believe is happening right now. One of the biggest questions surrounding Cardi B right now is surprisingly simple: where is the next album? Now, to be fair, Cardi B hasn't disappeared. She's released singles, she's collaborated with major artists, and she remains extremely active on social media. But the absence of a full project has created something unusual, a mystery. Because the longer fans wait, the louder the speculation becomes. Some fans believe Cardi B is carefully preparing something much bigger than people expect. Others think the delay might mean something more complicated is happening behind the scenes. But here's where the story becomes even more interesting. Because Cardi B's relationship with the internet has always been very different from most celebrities. And that difference might be one of the reasons people are paying attention again. Most celebrities eventually become distant from social media. After reaching a certain level of fame, they stop responding to comments, they avoid public arguments, and they allow PR teams to manage their image. Cardi B never really did that. She still tweets, she still reacts to criticism, and sometimes she even responds directly to random users online. That openness is part of what made her so popular in the first place. But it also creates a completely different environment around her career. Because every reaction becomes content, every disagreement becomes a trending topic, and sometimes the conversation around Cardi B becomes bigger than the music itself. And this is where things start getting interesting again. Because if you look closely at the timeline of her career, a pattern begins to appear. Throughout Cardi B's career, something unusual keeps happening. Periods of quiet, followed by massive attention, followed by another huge moment. And right now, many fans believe we might be in that quiet phase again. But here's the strange part. Sometimes those quiet moments are exactly when artists are preparing their biggest comebacks. Because the music industry today moves faster than ever, new artists appear constantly, songs go viral overnight, and trends change within weeks. Which means, when a major artist returns with something big, the impact can be even stronger than before. And if there's one thing Cardi B understands extremely well, it's how attention works. She understands the internet, she understands viral moments, and she understands how quickly the narrative around an artist can change. Oh, the real question right now isn't whether Cardi B is still relevant. That part is obvious. The real question is what her next move looks like. Because if her next project lands the way her previous hits did, the entire conversation around her career could change overnight. Suddenly, the same people asking questions today might be talking about something completely different tomorrow. And that's the unpredictable part of artists like Cardi B. They don't quietly disappear. They return when people least expect it. And when that moment happens, the internet usually reacts immediately. Which means, the real story here might not be what's happening right now, it might be what happens next. Because if Cardi B decides to release something major soon, the entire narrative around her career could flip overnight. And if there's one thing her career has proven so far, it's that the internet never stays quiet when Cardi B makes a move. So the real question isn't whether Cardi B can create another huge moment. The real question is when, and judging by how closely fans are watching her next move, that moment might already be closer than anyone expects.